Hey everybody, Leslie here. Thank you for being here with me today, whether you're watching live or on the replay. I'm so happy you're here. Just FYI, feel free to ask questions and make comments below. Also, just want to give you a heads up. An email went out last night, so if you missed that, get on my wait list for the Paralegal Inner Circle class or sign up for a free chapter of my book on my website. And if you go to the description box, not below this video, but the one before, you'll see a link to my website, which is lesliesansonewilliams.com. And you can go just to that, or you can click on the link and check out the wait list for my class, which registration will be on January 5th through the 12th. And more information needed about the class, it'll be on my website. I won't go into it here. Also, if you're new to this career, my suggestion is you get my book called Legal Break-In. It's on Amazon. Link will also be in the description box of the previous video. And get the insider's view first through that book, and then take the class in January to understand what is needed and what's not needed, and so much more. Okay, there'll be over 40 videos. I'm adding 3 or 4 new ones to actually beef up the interview process, and I want to add more to it. So I try to add value to my course whenever I feel inspiration to do so. Also, I decided after comments about, setting goals and needing some type of calendar planner, I made a planner that kind of not goes along with my book, but it's a weekly planner with alternating pages of lined paper. So you have like a planner and a journal or a to-do list that you can use that for. So I think it's 106 pages. So when you put Legal Break-In in the Amazon search bar, it'll bring up both of those, all right? So the last thing in the description box that may be of interest is and it's not mine, I just recommend it, there is a laminated pamphlet that I recommend. And it is a pamphlet that has legal terminology on there, and it's kind of cool to carry that with you and get used to that language that maybe you're not used to. I certainly wasn't. So today we're going to talk about walking through fog. Now, if you've ever, and I'm sure you have, driven through fog, and I don't mean the dense fog that when you get your car into it you can't see a thing, but the type of fog where you can still see some things, and you can see like outlines of cars and buildings, but sometimes you can't see your skyline if you live in a city, or you're near a big city. You can't see the skyline, and it's there. But as you go through the fog, you start to see those buildings. Going towards this career or any goal in your life, any career, but any goal, can seem like you're surrounded by fog. So let's talk about what FOG really means in this video. Fear is represented by the F in fog, and fear is very common as you start to walk towards this. There's fear and doubt and unbelief, and just name 10 more adjectives that go with this that mean we just don't trust what's happening. And fear is a huge part of it. So does fear mean that we have to stop walking? No, because clearness, that field out there that will be clear for you, you're going to see it eventually. And it may be next week, or it may be, a year from now. But if you keep walking, keep trusting, have faith, you're going to end up in a clearing, and you'll come out of the fog. So let's talk about some things that relates to fear. Now, you don't ask for other people's help because you don't want to experience rejection. You don't want to hear the no. In fact, that can keep us from going on interviews because we don't want to hear that no. But then they tell you no in the interview. They just like don't say anything. So stop fearing that. You don't ask for feedback from other people because you're fearful of the criticism. You know, it might bring some things to light. So what? Then you can fix them. You don't speak up because you don't want to offend anyone. Well, you have to speak up when you become a paralegal. So these things you have to overcome. I very much grew up as a little peaceful peacemaker little girl and teenager. I would bring up topics at the dinner table. I have to say that would set my father, into an uproar about politics and things. But as far as speaking against things my mother believed and any of that. Oh, hey, hi, Stephanie. Good deal. Glad you're here with me. Yeah, I just got done with my lunch. I was afraid of offending people, and I had to learn how to have what I would call a peaceful confrontation, and learned how to do that in my 20s and into my 30s, that I could do it without like blowing up and that type of thing. But I didn't see that in my house. I had to learn how to do it. You're afraid to do well because people will expect you to keep it up and it's too much pressure. But we can regulate how much pressure we feel. We don't have to, it's hard not to tell people, isn't it? When we have something we're excited about. And so, if I do that in my family though, and I start talking about it too early, it's like it's on CNN. It might as well be. And then now I feel committed when I don't really feel committed to it. When you're in that journey, you're trying to figure it out and you're not really committed to what you're looking at. You're just exploring. The whole world doesn't need to know. So try to keep that under wraps if you can now, if you're going to school and, it just people you're going to tell and just say, I'm just exploring, and people might not get that. That's okay. That's all right. They won't understand what the heck you're doing anyway, more than likely, within the legal field. Failing, the idea of failing keeps us from moving forward through the fog. So we stay outside of it because we feel safe and protected. But yet, don't we feel like we failed if we haven't started towards our purpose? I know I have. And so I had to go through the fog anyway. I discovered that I don't like learning computer languages. Not really. Those heavy-duty techie languages. Nope. Thought I might, but I didn't. I had to go down that path a little bit. I liked putting my own website up, which I did. But I'm not a computer programmer. And so the reason for that, I don't like it. It's not my purpose. I have no interest in that. So you have to explore a little bit. I didn't spend a lot of money to find out either. I would just check out some things, do a lot of research and homework. That's why I put my class out there, the book and the class, so that you can figure this out and go, I don't like this, or I love it. So either way, it's probably not going to be in the middle. You won't be in the middle about it. You really don't know if you're good enough, smart enough to accomplish what you want to accomplish. But you won't find out by sitting on the couch. You won't find out by not exploring, and you won't find out by not walking through a fog. You won't. Because of, sorry about that buzzing, when it posts on Facebook, it makes that horrible noise. Because you're insecure, you can compensate for that insecurity by overeating, overspending. It's like a drug that is it satiates you, it calms you for a bit, and then you find yourself overweight and in debt. um, you know, it's better to face it than to try to put other things in its place that isn't God's will anyway. So let's go to overwhelm. Um, there's a lot of, again, when we share this news with people, there can be expectations and we can feel overwhelmed by that. You know, when um, uh, my grandson talks about working in on behalf of the ecology, I'm not going to pressure him in that, where are you going to go to school and start rat-a-tat-tat, like he's like I'm a detective and he's under the spotlight. But some people will do that. When you share, you overshare before you're ready to share, and then it puts all this pressure on you that sometimes we bring on ourselves. But we can say, that's when we have to say no to people. Like, I don't, that's, it's not up for discussion. I said that to family members not too long ago, when I talked about something and I told them, okay, not up for discussion. And they were like, what? I said, no, not up for discussion. Then they dropped it like a hot potato. But I was not yelling. I was not screaming. I told them, no, I'm not talking about it. And they can do the heebie-jeebies and do their little temper tantrums if they want, which they did not. But I had to learn to say, no, no. So if you're gifted in several different areas, you have to decide what will be your focus. And so what if you go down and you're in the field for a year, you're in the paralegal field for a year, and you go, I really don't like this. But you have these other avenues to go down. That's okay. Yeah, I'm giving you permission to not go and stay in something that you don't like, but you won't know sometimes until you're in it, before you get the truth out as to, does this fit you? Is it right for you? And the most important thing, is it God's will for you? So, disappointing people, I had to get over myself with that. It wasn't all about other people. It was about my journey, my purpose, not their purpose. I couldn't fulfill dreams that they didn't fulfill. I was never meant to be a pianist, to be a classical pianist. Nope, don't like it. Really don't like it. And I wasn't, I took piano lessons for 2 years. I was not destined to make it a career. And so it's not because I was too lazy. I love hearing the piano, but I don't like necessarily entertaining other people with it. I'll entertain myself with it, but not other people. So here, and this plays into the paralegal field. The project, you can feel like getting into this field is a bit overwhelming. It doesn't have to be. It's the old analogy of how do you eat an elephant? It's kind of a gross analogy, but it's like one bite at a time. When you take my class, there'll be over 40 videos. If you look at that, you'll go, oh, I can't even start. I'm so overwhelmed. How does that work? So we have to start. I understand that feeling. I've purchased classes, and then it was like a year before I opened it up. So it's better not to even do it at that point, and then to have it loom over your head. Wait before you do it and then jump in and do one video at a time and go through it and take notes and do everything you're supposed to do and make a decision, okay? And the last thing, the G in FOG, in this acronym, is God's will for your life. And you may never have even entertained that He has a will for you, that He has a purpose for you, that He has ideas in mind as to what you should be doing and what you're gifted in. And you might not have ever thought that you're gifted in anything, but I'm here to tell you, you are. Even if nobody else in your life tells you that, I know you're gifted in certain things. Why? Because His word says so. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, and you are unique, and you have specific gifts. The fun exploration in finding out what those are. So you might never have thought about praying over what his will is for your life. Do that today. And if your relationship with God is non-existent or it's diminished over the years because you feel that God is just a big ogre who has no bearing on your life or doesn't care about you, I'm here to tell you otherwise. In John 3:16, it says, "For God so loved the world," meaning us, "that whosoever believeth in him," well, it says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son," that's Jesus, "that whosoever believeth in him," in Jesus, will not perish, but have everlasting life." So pray that prayer today and ask Jesus to be your Savior, to come into your heart, to help you in your life, to be your Savior, number one, and then to focus on what his will is for your life, and you can't go wrong. It will be a journey. There will be boulders in the way. There will be barriers to blast through, but you will never regret putting your faith in the Lord. So have a great day today, and hope your lunch, Steph, was really good. I'm hooked on Chick-fil-A. What can I say? And have a great one. And stay tuned for tomorrow. We'll do another video. And remember to check out the links in the previous video in the description box. I hope you'll join us if you haven't already, to be part of the class. Registration January 5th through the 12th. Get on the wait list, okay? So have a great one. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Questions, comments, post them below. Love to hear from you, or just say hi. All right, have a good one. See you tomorrow.